I will not get caught in that trap that only one of us is good. We can both be good, like the South Park guys. Except Trey does everything. Trey does everything!
A couple years ago, I did 2 videos on Carl Carlson from The Simpsons and Jerome from Family Guy, analyzing how 2 of the most popular adult animated shows ever invented choose to write their black characters. And I always had intentions on spinning the block again for South Park and Futurama, so let's do it. So for this video, we're going to talk about Token from South Park, his role in the show over the years, and try to determine if he's ever actually been more than just the only black kid. A token, if you will. Alright, let's get this show on the road. This video is way longer than I wanted it to be. How the fuck do I keep writing so much? Get ready to meet some friends of mine. Or one, rather. He's only one guy. This is off to a great start. This is Token more than a token, or Token more than a token, or nah, that's all I got. Here go the video.
That's the theme music cue.
This ain't televised, they telling lies, but promise I won't. We've been patronized, they taking lives, I'm on my way home. Relax my mind about half the time I'm watching cartoons. For knocks how I'm locked in my room. Of course they resemble my skin when I watch too. Hypnotizing, tannic, how I frolic through the vibes. Okay, dreaming mama's proud as if she looks through Penny's eyes. I'm a man of the house like Oscar. We deceive, I believe need Oscar. James Earl when I speak, I'm a Foster. Gotta swerve in the streets, never block us. I go, feel more, just try to make you feel more. Through the halls I felt scorns. Looking at me cause I don't like what you like, you feel torn. Should've smacked your like slick back, you ain't seen pimpin' before. For the stars I shoot pimpin', no boy, you best set the score.
Originally known as Token Williams, but more affectionately known as Token Black. Token is the only black kid that goes to South Park Elementary.
I didn't know Token lived so far away. Yeah, you know, they bus in people from different races to our school to promote cultural diversity. Yeah, but isn't Token the only one? Yeah.
Okay. He was originally just a background character that they'd occasionally color white on purpose by accident, but over the course of the 28 years of the cartoon, we started to see more and more of him. Whether that be Eric staying with his family a few times, him really loving music and singing like Lou Rawls, or him stealing Wendy from Stan.
Hey, Wendy! You're a bitch. Token, right here, buddy.
Nah, what? Right here, buddy, is the funniest shit ever. Why this video not about Stan? Token, since season 4, has been voiced by series storyboard artist Adrian Beard, who's been with the show since season 1.
Just because he was the only black guy we had in the building at the time, so we said, well, I guess you have to be Token, dude.
Yeah, it only made sense to use him.
Imagine getting a 30-year job by default. Some guys have all the fun. The thing I noticed about Token when trying to do this video is that for a vast majority of the show, practically none of the stories featuring him as a main character are actually about him. You have stories like season 7's Christian Rock Hard, where he's a main figure in that Christian rock band with Eric and Butters, but doesn't really do much in the episode but play bass.
Token, how many times do we have to go through this? You're black, you can play bass.
I'm getting sick of your stereotypes.
Be as sick as you want, just give me a goddamn bass line! God damn it.
There's stories where Token hangs around the other kids and is around the entire time, but never really does anything super impactful like WTF and Good Times with Weapons. Or, what I find to be the most common, you have stories about the overall concept of race, right? Be it police brutality, saying slurs on TV, dating based on race. And the show uses Token to showcase the average black perspective. In this way, he kind of operates less like a character that we know and understand, and more a vessel for the commentary. See, now this exists a lot in like really small bursts, right? Like season 8's Quest for Ratings, where the kids are doing this news show for school and Eric convinces Token to code switch.
Token, all the great African-American news people have learned to hide their Ebonic tribe speak with a more pure Caucasian dialect.
Ebonic tribe speak? Or in season 15's Funny Buy, where Jimmy does a comedy show at school with him and real comedians winning awards, and the only one that shows up and actually picks up their award is Tyler Perry.
I want to thank you all for this amazing award, or as Medea would say, hallelujah!
Oh God, how embarrassing.
This was always one of my favorite bits. Token just can't stop giving Tyler Perry money and he fucking hates it, which is a very real thing. I know so many black people that have mountains of critiques of Tyler Perry, but can't look away from the train wreck that is Beauty in Black. I will never forgive my girlfriend for making me watch this whole shit. I'm convinced that this nigga hasn't written an actual script since he had Janine smoking that shit.
You know when a man be cheating, he never know what to say. But a woman, them things think quick. Will somebody get Tyler Perry to shut up?
Okay, nigga, like you ain't make Jack and Jill. In some cases, he doesn't even have to be in the story at all. In the pandemic special,
A pandemic special, Randy? Really?
when the kids first get back to school after the initial COVID lockdowns, the teachers don't feel safe coming back, so they just hire all the cops as the teachers instead. Eric and Kyle get into the fight, and the police, while yelling at these little white kids to stop fighting, directly shoot the shit out of Token.
Got him.
Would you believe that this isn't the last time that I say this in this video? Of course you do. This is a video about South Park. The thing about this one is though, like, I remember this kind of being like a one-off thing. The kind of thing where the episode just continues on afterwards, but no, this is a crucial moment in the plot. Immediately after this, they lock the entire school down with the kids still inside for quarantine because the cops lie and say that Token had been taken to the hospital for COVID.
We were there, and Token was actually taken to the hospital because you guys shot him.
We literally do not see Token ever again for this entire story. The point that they were trying to make about the police and the shooting of innocent black children is loud and clear, but we deadass don't even know if he's dead or not. I think that's a pretty clear indication where the priorities lie with how they write this character. A good example of what I mean being put in motion on a much larger scale can honestly be found in his very first story. Heavy quotation marks on his. Season 4's Cartman's Silly Hate Crime 2000.
Token, I swear to God, you call me fat one more time, I'm gonna smack you in the head with this rock. Fat ass. Oh!
That's rough, bro. Token gotta shoot Kyle. Since Token is black, they actually end up considering this a hate crime. Like, Eric has to go to court for this and everything.
Who is Token?
He's a black kid that goes to my school.
Black? Did you say black? You called him black?
He is black.
I really don't want to branch off and make this a video about Eric Cartman's racism, because that doesn't sound fun at all. And Token deserves his own video without having to share it with a nigga that calls himself the Coon. But so many of these Token stories, shit, I'd honestly say most of them, involve Eric being racist to him in some way. Immediately with this episode though, I noticed that the initial conflict is just like some kid shit. In fact, it's honestly a misunderstanding. Eric threatens Token to call him fat one more time because the nigga said the shit like 4 times. But Kyle's the one that does it while his back is turned. The nigga should have honestly hit him. And it's not because he's black like all the other examples that we're gonna talk about in a little bit. It's just in response to some regular childish teasing. It's real indicative of the kind of character that Eric used to be and the kind of show that South Park was. Still political and satirical, but through the lenses of literal children who actually acted like and argued like children. Shit, the most unrealistic thing about this episode is that somebody actually goes to jail for hurting a black kid. There's a clear difference between Eric hitting his only black classmate with a rock because he keeps calling him fat, or Eric not realizing that his ghost costume for Halloween looks like a Klan member, and Eric literally running around dressed as Hitler, shouting Nazi shit, and him actually shooting that black classmate. I don't feel like doing this video anymore, never mind. Nobody really gives a fuck about what's going on. Nobody cares about Eric's intentions being misrepresented or if Token's okay, how to prevent stuff like this from potentially happening again. The kids are significantly more concerned because they need Eric for this sledding contest so they can beat this little girl that they'll never even fucking see again. Honestly, the longer the episode goes, you realize that it's kind of just a silly story about Eric. He tries to flee sentencing and has Kenny drive him away in this bullshit toy white Bronco, which is a not so subtle at all reference to O.J. Simpson.
Crazy son of a bitch.
Then when he gets locked up, it's just about him struggling to connect with the other child inmates and smuggling stuff up his ass to bring into prison, but I don't want to play a clip of that part. Don't make me.
There's 2 kinds of kids in the world. Kids who like Animaniacs and kids who don't like Animaniacs. So which are you?
Oh, well, personally, I, don't like Animaniacs.
Neither do we.
Little ugly ass 90s kids with no taste. You see what I mean though, right? Like, you obviously can't do this story if Token doesn't exist. But just because he's there doesn't mean that I can tell you anything about who he is based on the narrative. It's almost like he's written like a token. No way, y'all think they did that on purpose? So much of this cartoon is just Token minding his business, and then suddenly every white person in town feels the need to tell him how to feel about something racist. Unprovoked too, there's so many episodes that start the exact same way. He's getting something out of his locker, and then one of the boys walk up to him being super weird, like no bullshit. Look at this footage. These are all from different episodes, what the fuck? And they spend the first half of the episode dragging a reaction out of him. Alright, so jumping ahead a bit, let's talk about season 11's With Apologies to Jesse Jackson. Based on when Kramer forgot all his jokes on stage, but he definitely remembered Jim Crow, nigga, can't forget that.
Shut up! 50 years ago, you had you upside down with a fucking fork up your ass!
With Apologies to Jesse Jackson is another good example of this. And it's actually one of the first South Park episodes that I ever remember seeing. Gotta remember, I turned 28 this year, and this show is in its 28th season. It's literally only like 4 or 5 months older than me. The first season that I actually remember watching live was like season 14. What else is in that season? The Ring, Fish Sticks, Butter's Bottom Bitch. Shit, no wonder I love this show. What the fuck? This is like getting introduced to SpongeBob with Band Geeks. In this one, Randy goes on Wheel of Fortune. The topic is people who annoy you. The letters they give him are N, 2 G's, an E, and an R.
All right, I'd like to solve the puzzle. Nigga.
They respected me for saying it.
Look at the lady turning the letters over. She's fucking devastated. Randy immediately regrets this. They deadass just call him nigga guy while he's walking down the street. I don't know. I feel like I got a sense of the hard ER. I don't know if they gonna let me get that shit off. They demonetized my homeboy like 2 weeks ago for a thumbnail. It's getting wicked out here. And to apologize for it, he literally goes to kiss civil rights leader Jesse Jackson's bare ass.
Apologize. Kiss it.
Man, why is Jesse Jackson ass so fat? I don't have time for this. This obviously doesn't mean anything. As Tolkien puts it in the episode, Jesse Jackson isn't the fucking emperor of black people.
He told my dad he was.
And the episode focuses on Randy and all of the relentlessly tone-deaf ways that he goes about rectifying this mistake.
I'm a person. I'm a man. But no matter how I try, people just say, hey, there's that nigga guy. Everywhere I go, it's always the same. Everyone just thinks of me as that one single name. Hey, nigga guy, hi, nigga guy, stop!
Collaborate and listen.
The sickest part about Randy's arc in this episode is that, for the first half of the episode at least, he's literally only ever like laughed at. Nobody calls him racist. They don't scrutinize him on a large scale. Nobody even seems like they're actually mad about it, except Tolkien and Jesse Jackson. The worst thing that happens to him at that point is that they don't let him buy any aspirin at the store, like boo fucking who. And I think the only thing that matters is that he fucked up on TV and everybody thinks it's funny because these white people have to say nigga in order to call him nigga guy. Like nobody seems to actually care about the word and the weight.
Hey, look, Betty, it's that nigga guy.
Nah, they two-turned. Look at their faces, bro. They look like they just saw Bruno Mars walking down the street. Randy is fucking destroyed, but it's literally only embarrassment for the most part. And it's not even framed like a long time. This episode takes place over the course of like 3 days. It's not until this very funny scene where he's chased down by a bunch of conservatives with shotguns that really fucking hate intolerance.
You like making fun of minorities, nigga guy? We don't take kindly to social ignorance.
You tell him, Skeeter. You tell him.
Fuck, bruh. How does my Tolkien video keep turning into me analyzing other characters? Why do they keep writing these stories like this? Where Tolkien fits into this narrative is much on a smaller scale. It's between him and Stan, Randy's son. Very funny way to describe the main character of the cartoon.
Listen, Tolkien, my dad isn't a racist. He's just stupid, all right? He just blurted out the N-word, and it's no big deal, okay?
Well, actually, it is kind of a big deal, Stan. It may be a mistake, but you don't understand how it feels when that word comes up. So don't say it isn't a big deal.
Stan doesn't understand why Tolkien is so offended by the N-word. And the thing that he's missing, right, is that Tolkien doesn't want him to understand. If Stan just said, hey man, sorry about my dad. I don't know what's wrong with him. He's just kind of stupid. And left it at that, I think Tolkien would have just moved on. But every single scene with the two of them, at some point, Stan directly tells Tolkien how to feel about something he clearly can never understand. And that's what pisses Tolkien off.
I'm not responsible for what my dad did.
No, but you can't just pretend it never happened either.
What the hell do you want from me?
Nothing.
Then stop being mad.
No.
You can say or do what you want to people, but you cannot dictate how they'll react. You only really get anywhere when you understand that people have the right to feel how they feel, even if you just don't get it. That's basically what this last scene is. They get there in a kind of stupid, hollow 4th grade way, but it's there nonetheless.
I've been trying to say that I understand how you feel, but I'll never understand. I'll never really get how it feels for a black person to have somebody use the N-word. I don't get it.
Now you get it, Stan.
Respect.
Real quick, today's video is actually brought to you by Fume.
Yay!
Flavored air is quickly becoming the leading alternative to smoking and vaping. And at the forefront of it all,
It's you! It's you!
yeah. Have you ever caught yourself reaching for a bad habit without even thinking about it? Maybe it's out of stress, boredom, or just wanting to fit in. Well, that's where Fume comes in. It's not about quitting, it's about replacing, right? Fume offers a simple and enjoyable way to break away from bad habits while still having something satisfying to reach for. Fume is an award-winning flavored air device that delivers great taste without any harmful chemicals. Instead of inhaling vapor, you simply breathe in natural food-grade ingredients that satisfy the craving without the addiction. Whether you're looking to keep your hands busy or curb an urge, Fume's premium wooden design is built for both flavor and function. Magnetic fidget provides an extra layer of satisfaction, making it perfect for relieving stress or staying focused. Designed with a high quality build and sleek aesthetic, Fume feels premium in your hand and is easy to take anywhere, whether you're at work, traveling, or just relaxing at home. My go-to flavor is crisp mint because that joint is super refreshing and it somehow keeps me feeling sharp throughout my entire day. But Fume offers tons of other flavors, so you can't really go wrong. No lie, they gave me this disposable one last time and I disrespected this shit. Get started with your Fume ASAP. No Rocky.
It looks better on you anyway, OG. Hope it doesn't fit.
Break the habit, homie. Over 700,000 people have already made the switch to Fume as part of their habit-changing journey. If you're ready to try it yourself, now's the time. For a limited time, if you order the Journey Pack using my code, TOONRIFICTARIQ, you'll get a free Fume Topper, a dope accessory to level up your experience. Click the link fume.com/TOONRIFICTARIQ or scan the QR code on screen to get yours today. 6 seasons later in World War Zimmerman, which came out a few months after George Zimmerman was found not guilty in the shooting of Trayvon Martin, and coincidentally, almost the exact same amount of time since the movie World War Z starring Brad Pitt came out, Eric keeps having nightmares that somehow mix both of these things.
Many African Americans are outraged by the verdict, and they are most likely about to go totally nanas.
Nigga hate Moneyball. And you guessed it, second verse, same as the first, this is somehow made Token's issue simply because Eric can't get his little scary racist ass together.
Did you know if it wasn't for African Americans, we wouldn't have rock and roll? So cool that we have a black president. It's about time.
You don't mean that shit. You just running your mouth.
Eric starts to have these nightmares in class, which lands him in the guidance counselor's office, and Token has to sit there and listen to this stupid ass poem that he wrote.
I was not the trigger. I was not the hate. Nor was I the judge, but still, you judge me? I was not the black family mourning for the death. Ooh, somebody shot our children, Lord, what we do now? And I was not the verdict.
This isn't a poem, it doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, sure, okay, that's the problem. The rest of the episode turns into Eric blurring the lines between these nightmares and reality. He really thinks that black people are gonna just like kill all the white people with something like the zombies in World War Z. And he causes mass hysteria, plane crashes, like this little asshole was fucking bugging. He tells everybody that it's like a virus outbreak instead of just a bunch of angry black people that he just made up in his head. This nigga had Token plastered all over the news as patient zero. Like, what's good? Long story less long. If I'm understanding this correctly, Eric puts on blackface to try to shoot George Zimmerman because he's the origin point of the virus. The virus, again, being angry black people.
Hey, wait a minute. This kid isn't black, he's white. Wait, what? Guilty!
Eric confronts Token, telling him that he completely understands what he's going through because he got shot in blackface, and tries to piece it up with a dat, but the second Token comes in, this little circle that Eric drew in the ground, this happens.
He was on my ground. You all saw that, right? Everything inside the red line is mine.
Super low vibrational content, bro. I gotta do like a Bluey video or something after this. Again, despite not explicitly following him, this story still does not exist without Token. And none of the characters, nor the show really, is concerned with how any of this stuff makes him feel. These 3 episodes aren't necessarily the same in theory, but when you really pick apart the execution, it's hard not to notice that this is the format that they felt like was best suited for an all-white town to commentate on black issues, which honestly makes a lot of sense. A lot of the South Park characters don't interact with the world outside of their little bubble, so they don't treat other perspectives with urgency or care. They either fully ignore how Token feels to the point of him barely existing, tell him how to feel, or both sides every issue, even if the problems are comedically disproportionate.
This has clearly gone too far, and you owe each other an apology or you're getting detention.
An apology? He shot me!
Well, he was technically standing his ground, Token.
Well, it's a pretty fucking stupid law! Token, calm down. And why does standing your ground not apply to fucking white people? Oh god, here we go again!
Okay. While the kinds of stories that I'm talking about are definitely the majority, there's still a handful of Token stories that are still definitely about race, but focus on them a little more closely. In season 5's Here Comes the Neighborhood, yeah, good one guys, Token gets made fun of by the rest of the kids for being rich, even though he never really thought of himself as rich until the other kids told him that he was.
Yeah, dude, your family's so rich they have their own pool table. Yeah, and their own sprinkler system. You don't think you're rich?
No! Fuck!
It bothers him so much that he even goes to talk to his parents about it.
We went to graduate school and therefore have more lucrative jobs than most people in town. For instance, your mother is a chemist for a pharmaceutical company, whereas your friend Eric Cartman's mother is a crack whore.
Well, the guy knows what's going on here, I'll give him that.
Token gets crab cakes in his lunchbox and has a projector and a colored printer to aid him in his class project. Token has name brand clothes not bought at Kmart. Oh, sorry, J-Mart. Bro, I hate television.
So frustrating. We all know what we're talking about.
He has a DVD of The Lion King when the format that everyone else has is VHS old ass episode. Token's first thought to cure his isolation is to try to convince his family to live below their means so that he can try to be just like his friends. And they try that shit for like 10 minutes before they get ran out of J-Mart. This is a pretty funny subversion, honestly. The white town with only one black family that's alienated because they're too proper, because they make too much money. If you were to watch this episode with the sound off, for whatever reason, I don't know y'all, then you probably think that this is just a bunch of racist white people confused why this black family is just around living their lives.
Son, can you just hurry it up? I don't think we quite fit in here.
Alright, so there's a few things going on here. Because not only is there that subversion of Token and his family, the opposite of the stereotype of when black people move to white neighborhoods, even ones not separated by wealth, but Token basically kicks off gentrification in South Park. He gets really sad that he can't relate to any of his low to middle class homeboys and decides to tell realtors to start sending rich people to South Park so they can bring their kids. They end up getting houses for Will Smith, Kobe, Oprah. Y'all ain't had to do Oprah like that, goddamn. They even call Bill Cosby and Diddy. Oh, Cosby, Diddy, oh, that didn't age well. Yeah, I know, I read the news just like y'all.
And these are Puff Daddy's kids, P Diddy Mini, P Poofy Bite Size, and Puff a Diddy Diddy Puff Pun Size.
I know these little niggas don't got on Sean. Bro, whatever. Everything about this shit is ass backwards. They got this nigga Snoop Dogg doing like negative code switching.
I found a girl who had an innie, and I felt it with my Jimmy. Player haters try to diss me cause my rhymes are just too...
Sorry, Snoop Dogg, but Will Smith is on line 3 for you.
Oh.
William, how are you, buddy?
After this point, the episode is just kind of like the same joke over and over again, just escalating each time. Some variants are funnier than others. Them calling the rich black people richers isn't as funny after the like third time, but whatever, you get the point that this thing is making. Well, you might, I don't know. It's hard to tell if people even pay attention while watching these things anymore. You know, I get comments complaining about the hang up sound effect from niggas paranoid that their girl hung up on them because they be watching these videos on FaceTime. You fucking dork. She don't want to watch this shit, nigga. If you don't go put her on Scandal, well, bro, look alive, she about to hang up.
Rich people won't want to live in South Park if they think it's haunted. Yeah! Everyone get some sheets from home. If we can't chase the richers out, we'll spook them out.
Oh my gosh. But even beyond this episode's joke about being a subversion of racial stereotypes and jokes, it still says something about the difference between raising children who are rich and entitled and raising children in wealth, while still letting them know that you had to work hard for everything that you have and that you're not better than anyone. It's honestly really cool how many levels this story works on. No matter how much Trey and Matt try to convince you that they didn't do any of it on purpose.
People have talked about this episode a lot, like it was some really kind of smart statement on race relations. I don't even know what it's supposed to say or what we were trying to say.
I don't think it says anything.
I don't think it does, but it seems to be smart, but I don't think it is very smart.
Cap.
Now with the album out, are you paying attention?
Funny enough, as far as personality-wise, there's a good argument for this being the most that we get from Token. Because this episode isn't really about race, but instead how it looks like it's about race, we end up with a story telling us that Token is a little more sensitive than the other kids. He's a lot more tapped in with his emotions, hence why he gets so bummed out that he can't seem to fit in with either his South Park friends or these black rich kids. He fucks off to go live with lions in the zoo for a little bit.
Go with it.
And didn't realize till the end of the episode that everything that the boys was saying was just in good fun.
We find something about all our friends to rip on. We made fun of you for being rich just like we make fun of Butters for being wimpy. They sure do.
That's right, huh? You're right, guys. From now on, I'm fine with being made fun of for being rich.
Oh, but we're not gonna rip on you for being rich anymore. Because since you got your feelings so hurt for being ripped on, now we think you're a pussy. Yeah, so now you're a pussy. Pussaholic. Come on, Nurse Token, we're gonna play football, you puss. Pussy. Yeah, what a puss. Yeah, that guy's a pussy.
Well, yeah, but at least I got rid of all those damn nits.
They start fucking, it was gross.
Season 16 introduced Nicole, a new little black girl at South Park Elementary voiced by Kimberly Brooks, who has less personality than Token, so you know that they were made for each other. A new girl shows up, and Cartman, thinking that all black people belong with each other, is way too happy for Token.
Why? Why are you happy for me? Dude, I'm being seriously. You guys will be really cute together. What are you gonna say to her?
Nothing.
What the? Oh, Token's shy.
Token knows nothing about this girl, and honestly, Eric's assertion kind of makes him not want anything to do with her. But that doesn't stop Eric at all. It just kind of makes him go harder. While spying on the girls, trying to figure out what Nicole likes so he can keep fucking playing black people Sims and shit, Eric overhears that she likes someone else, and he is fucking hot.
I kind of think this other boy is cute. Who? Who? That kid with the orange coat and the green hat. Oh, you mean Kyle? Yeah.
So check it out. This nigga Eric then lies to Nicole and says that him and Kyle are gay.
Anyway, thanks a lot, and just, stay away from my man, bitch.
Then he locks the two of them in the school gym overnight in the most blatant, nastiest setup I've ever seen in my entire life.
Look! Somebody left a deli platter. And board games. And massage oil.
Oh, good.
The craziest part is that this shit actually works somehow, and the two actually end up together. Look at this cute little black trauma bond. You usually gotta wait till college to catch one of those. Token speed running this life shit. Token originally wanted nothing to do with Nicole because she was black, and even though his position was clearly altered by how hard Eric tried to push them together, Nicole's dad pretty much feels the exact same way that he does. He even brings it up at dinner. Man, it ain't no black people on the design team.
I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm just saying she's gonna have to deal with racist people out there. People turning their heads and saying, oh, look at the two black people together, that figures.
I've never been in a school setting where the majority of the students just weren't black. That's just called living in Newark, New Jersey, 973 stand up. So I can't really speak to the authenticity of this emotion. I can't confirm or deny if black people in this situation typically feel like this. But I do think that it's funny that all of this is being said by white ass Trey Parker.
Here, have some more turkey.
Yeah, just try the white meat. I know it's a little dry, but there's a lot more of it.
Aye. After talking to her dad, Nicole takes a closer look at this bear that she thinks is from Token, but was actually gifted by Eric. And it kind of makes her feel like they just weren't on the same page the entire time, so she breaks it off. This really upsets Token. But Kyle takes it as an opportunity to swoop in and take Nicole to a basketball game that Token just so happens to be at too. And then Eric hijacks the Jumbotron, and I think they inadvertently let the racist character just say the moral of the episode. That can't be right.
Don't let society dictate who you can and can't be with. Kyle, I love you, man. You can run all you want. Try to pretend you like girls, but damn it, when we kiss, there's magic.
You are gay.
Ultimately, Nicole and Token both come to the conclusion that they really like each other, and all of the other hang-ups or what people might say doesn't really mean anything if they have a genuine connection.
I just think you're a great person. The color of your skin doesn't matter.
Yay! Oh my god, so cute.
Nigga said, yay! So again, we have a story about Tolkien that's technically a character piece, but it's obvious that the main point of the story is to make fun of bigots and to get a certain point across. We still don't learn anything about who he is, and he doesn't necessarily react to Eric's bullshit differently than any other character would. By the top of season 25, there seemed to be a clear interest in actually doing something a bit more interesting, not just with Tolkien, but with his home life and family. Okay, so from season 22 to 27, South Park broke their status quo to introduce a little something called Integrity Farms. Randy opens up a weed farm to sell gas to all the residents of South Park, moving Stan and his family out of their home and onto said farm. Season 25 saw the episode The Big Fix. Randy finds out that nobody wants to buy weed from an old white man and decides that he needs a black face to plaster over everything for the bag. This leads to Randy trying to convince Stan to hang out with Tolkien more often.
I mean, we never just hang out, you and me.
Hey, we never hang out just you and me either, Stan.
Shut up, Butters.
For the first 25 years of both my life and this cartoon's existence, it has been relentlessly understood that this cartoon character's name was Tolkien, T-O-K-E-N, and that in universe, this black family named their child the most ironic and tone-deaf name you could possibly give your child if you're gonna move to an all-white neighborhood. And Randy, for the first time in the history of the entire show, actually addresses this head on.
People have a problem with Tolkien's name? Well, I mean, other people just think it's a little... I mean, come on, I mean, I'm not calling you guys racist, but why did you name your son that?
And when I tell you, nothing could have possibly prepared me for how Tolkien's dad responded.
My husband has always been a huge fan of Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit.
I wanted to name my son after my favorite author, but she didn't want to name our son J.R.R., so we just named him Tolkien.
So basically, the joke is, this entire time, this nigga's name has been spelled T-O-L-K-I-E-N. This show told a 25-year-long on-the-nose joke of naming their one black character after the trope of being the only black character. And just when nobody even remotely was giving it a passing thought, they somehow found a way to turn it on the audience.
You really thought a couple of black people had a child and named him Tolkien? Why would anyone name a black kid Tolkien? You're a piece of shit.
I'm not gonna lie to you, this was legitimately one of the funniest fucking TV episodes I had ever seen in my life back when this came out. And I deadass still feel that way. If this level of gaslighting makes you mad, you just need to grow the fuck up. I still can't believe they did this. After this episode came out, they went into the closed captions of every episode Tolkien's name was ever uttered and changed the text. Bro, how do you even come up with some shit like this?
Huh? Anybody? Anyone else just assume his name was Tolkien? Because that's disgusting and you are the problem.
I think this is probably Tolkien's best episode. A lot of it is more Stan focused, showing him grappling with that realization. The fact that he calls everyone, literally listing off continuity where both us and him have seen Tolkien's name written, and he is still just somehow the only person in town that just wasn't in the know. This is like an actively manufactured Mandela effect.
No. He's named after the guy who wrote The Hobbit and stuff.
Yeah, I know. J.R.R. Tolkien. What did you think it was?
No. I distinctly remember Cartman wearing a shirt where he spelled it T-O-K-E-N.
Yeah, dude, because Cartman's a fucking moron.
Dude, Cartman, did you know that Tolkien is named after J.R.R. Tolkien?
Well, yeah, I just figured.
Then why did you spell it Tolkien without the L or the I?
J.R.R. Tolkien has an L in it? That's gay. Who did you think Tolkien was named after?
Stan is so fucked up that he goes to the doctor because he's scared that he's racist, which is a very funny kid thing to do. And after the doctor chews him out, he tells him to go fuck off and read. Stan internalizes this and goes to read all of the Lord of the Rings books and tries to be some kind of like sick ass advocate for Tolkien, who doesn't even fucking need it. It honestly comes off as a cope to see if he could find at least one other person that thought like he did.
In fact, did you guys know that our friend Tolkien, who goes to school here, is named after J.R.R. Tolkien?
Yep.
Yeah, I knew that.
Why else would his name be Tolkien if it wasn't for the guy that wrote the books?
My point is...
This is definitely a slightly different temperature than with apologies to Jesse Jackson. That one saw Stan actively telling Tolkien how to feel. But this one has Stan too embarrassed to even ask Tolkien how he feels. Because if he did, he could have saved himself so much embarrassment. This nigga made a damn fool of himself.
I actually don't like Lord of the Rings, and I don't like The Hobbit. Just because my dad's into that stuff doesn't mean that I am. I've always hated that my name is Tolkien, but I didn't really have a choice, did I? So please, whatever you do, just don't draw any more attention to my name. I can't stand any of it. It's just a bunch of nerdy, jive-ass dragon shit.
I got off better than Tolkien, I'm not gonna lie. Because my dad definitely gave me my middle name after Tupac, and that's not as bad. But I am playing a Biggie song during this part of the video, so... While this is going on, Steve, Tolkien's dad, realizes that Randy was only using him for his racial identity, and not any of his ideas, which understandably upsets him.
I totally get now why you want me around, and I'm not gonna do it. He doesn't even really sound like a black guy, you know that?
So the episode ends with Steve moving directly across the street from Tegrity Farms and starting his own weed farm with blackjacks and hookers. I'm actually on my way over there after I finish recording this video.
Well, y'all came to the right business, cause this shit is hard.
Oh, he didn't even talk like that before!
This is like the 5th time they've done this joke. Hyperbole, but whatever. This one actually establishes a lot for Tolkien. More than any other episode does, except for maybe Here Comes the Neighborhood. Not only the whole name change thing, but his dad buying the weed farm across the street. Tolkien just lives across the street from the cartoon's main character now. There's also this rivalry between Steve and Randy. This whole shit got Randy mad as fuck.
They took everything I learned about using black culture to make a bigger profit, and they're doing it themselves!
But also surprisingly, Steve's voice there is more than just a joke. He has a black voice actor now. He's now played by the voice of Tolkien, so he ain't had to spend no more money.
Yay! You're not the only weed grower in this valley. But I was supposed to be the only black one.
Okay. After writing this, I found out that the voice actors actually alternate a few times in the series before this, which should tell you everything that you need to know about how seriously they took this character. But it's that rivalry that leads up to the 2-part Paramount Plus special, The Streaming Wars. Tolkien's dad and Randy both individually intend to sell off all of their streams of agricultural water that they weren't using to corporations that need it.
We're about to start our very own streaming service.
Alright, whatever. And they get their sons to make these little boats to show that their access water is actually making its way down the reservoirs. I completely forgot that the montage of these niggas building these boats is just set to WAP. I didn't understand why they did this back then, and now I'm just confused all over again. It ain't even nobody throwing no ass. There are literally no hoes in this house. Alright, so a few things happen to Tolkien in these after him and Stan split off that do provide a different kind of story for this character. His dad gets stabbed up by Man Bear Pig, which is a whole thing that I'm sorry I can't explain to people who don't watch South Park. Look, okay, it's supposed to be a symbol for climate change. This video long as hell, I can't go any further. I just realized there's probably a few people that don't know why I keep calling Cartman Eric. I mean, it is his first name, but I can't get too mad at people for not knowing. It's like if you're making a Futurama analysis and you just start calling Fry Phillip the entire time. Eric accuses Tolkien of fucking his mom, ignore the titties please, and they realize that there's a much grander conspiracy going on. So with the help of Butters, the three of them tap in and try to figure it out. It's cool to see Tolkien off with Cartman and Butters in that second part, to try to find his dad after he goes missing. It's a fun trio that we never got before. And while it doesn't really tell us anything new about who he is, nothing about his actions really scream personality too loud, it's still great to see him do more that doesn't involve him speaking for all black people.
Oh, I think he's gonna take a shit. Markdown 835 started taking shit.
What the fuck are you doing?
I'm scared she's a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no broke Jew.
Man, a gold digger transition would have went so crazy right there, but nah, we're not gonna be doing that. In season 26's premiere, Cupid Yee, Tolkien and Kyle spent a lot of time together making TikToks.
Konnichiwa. Sayonara.
What the f is this?
Stan is really jealous that he's losing his best friend to Tolkien, and Eric steps in on his super Kanye shit, like borderline verbatim.
When the Jews came to America to escape persecution in World War II, they found that blacks were already the underclass in America, so they had to invent a story for themselves which they could make everyone believe because Kyle runs Hollywood.
Which was misdiagnosed by a, I'm not gonna say what race, what people, doctor, and what hospital, and what media it went to. We know I can't say that. It was a Jewish doctor.
And he goes hard with this shit. He goes on TV with it. He goes in Tolkien's room while he sleeps and says the shit in his ear so he wakes up with it on his subconscious?
You think you and Kyle make TikToks together? Kyle only cares about money.
It's just like the lost tribes of Israel. Kyle wants to take all the credit for what you're doing.
Tolkien?
When the whole thing about Jewish people, or more specifically Kyle, running Hollywood spreads from around the school to around the town of South Park, Kyle turns to Tolkien for support during all of this. But all that stuff that Eric was trying to put in his head actually starts to stick, be it subconsciously, and the two actually have a couple arguments.
You know that Jews have stood alongside blacks since the civil rights movement began, right?
What does that have to do with anything?
I'm just saying I thought you'd be a better friend, because you're like...
Because I'm like what? Black?
I guess in a way, this is kind of a progression of Tolkien's character. After years of racial stuff happening to him in this town, and him being the only person who actually seems to take it seriously, he's just kind of desensitized to everything and tells Kyle that it's no big deal when it happens to him. It's actually both really realistic and pretty fucking sad. This poor 9-year-old has been exposed to so much racism in this all-white school that it's not even worth getting all up in arms about anymore because it wouldn't make a difference.
It's not a big deal.
It's a huge deal. It's an attack on my ethnicity, Token. You don't understand.
Bruh, what you mean? You ain't been watching the video?
Now fuck you, Token, you black asshole.
But at least I got rid of all those damn nits.
Oh!
I don't understand?
Yeah, Token, there's lots of black people in the NBA, but nobody says the NBA is run by black people.
That's because the NBA is run by white people.
Okay, yeah, good point.
The two don't necessarily have a conversation where they piece it up. Tolkien just says he's sorry when he's protecting Kyle after all the kids get shot with Nazi arrows.
Go with it.
And the episode ends with Kyle telling an audience that they can't just believe everything that they hear just because the nigga that made Jesus walk said it.
My message is, we can't control what people say, so we have to be smart about what we choose to believe.
You know what I think? I think this kid should run Hollywood.
Yeah!
Yay!
Okay, so now that we're all caught up on Tolkien, what exactly has been my takeaway after consuming so many episodes with this character over the past 2 weeks? South Park has always been a show that seems to be less interested in how racism makes black people feel and more about the fear that some white Americans have of being called racist. Heavy on some, my comment section has made it loud and clear that a good portion of y'all don't give a fuck, but I think because of this, we reach a ceiling on how much we can actually know about Tolkien. They put him in these interesting situations, and since his emotions aren't the topic, we don't know much about how they make him feel. And it was at this very moment where this video's title went from a statement to a genuine question. Because I don't think this little nigga is more than just a Tolkien yet. I think that there has been a clear effort and interest going in that area in recent years, but they got a lot of catching up to do. Shout out Ellis Mark. Tolkien hasn't become a character just yet. From all of these appearances where race isn't necessarily involved, he's basically just written like Stan number 2. Black Stan, if you will. Stan from Martin, if you're of a certain age. They're both kind of just the normal kids. I think Tolkien is a little smarter than Stan in some ways, but they like the same things. Their dialogue is written the exact same way. They both have a low tolerance for bullshit when it has nothing to do with them. Take the streaming wars, for example. There isn't a single thing that Tolkien does in this that I don't think Stan would do. Even with character specific stuff going on, like Eric thinking that he's fucking his mom in part 2, or his dad getting stabbed by Man Bear Pig in part 1, he still reacts to all of these things and handles these situations in the exact same way that a character like Stan would.
Wait a minute. Tolkien? Yeah, it's me.
Alright, so there's the post-COVID specials that take place, I think, like 30 years into the future, where we see all of the kids older reuniting after Kenny dies. Watching this really puts into perspective how little we really know about him, and how he has no true comedic identity outside of being the Tolkien black kid. With every other character, we learn something new about who they are in the future that is directly reflective of who they were as kids, or is like some kind of subversion of it, like how Eric became a rabbi. Kenny is a genius that nobody understood when he spoke. Clyde is a contrarian that refuses to get vaccinated. Jimmy is added to the already stacked Jimmy roster on late night TV and hates the way that comedy's going. Like, all of these things are playing on things that we know about these guys as kids. But Tolkien, when no one's around to throw microaggressions, is literally just a guy. He delivers no jokes in this shit. The only slightly humorous thing that he does is be the second person to not recognize my son Scott Malkinson after Stan. Every single other thing that he says is just exposition for the grander narrative. Lots of, something seems fishy. Guys, come look at this. Just the most boring, nothing dialogue that you could possibly imagine. If I was reading for this nigga, I would have started snoring on the microphone. I never really noticed it before, but it's only because nothing fun has ever been established with his character for them to be able to play with him like they do everybody else. I mean, in Return to COVID, the second part, he has that cool part where he fights all of those retirement worker guys, but I think that's less about Tolkien and more about just parodying Shaft or something. Only other time I can think of him fighting is when he punched the shit out of Eric in Christian Rock Hard. Every single Tolkien story, except for maybe the streaming wars, have some deep-rooted connection to Tolkien's race, instead of just doing a story about him and Stan trick-or-treating or something, like they do with all the other kids. There's something to be said about how this is just the experience of a lot of little black kids, right? Growing up in an environment where your race is constantly the root of conversation. But you think about a character like Jimmy, right? And how there's multiple classic episodes that follow him where his disability isn't even brought up once. You even think about a character like Chef, remember him? I could tell you so many quotes, so many stories about his character that go beyond just him being black. Tolkien's stories are missing that normalcy. Those instances where he's just allowed to be one of the kids. Speaking of too, I was watching Kitty Monk's Tolkien video when I was writing the last page and a half of this long ass script, and she brought up something really interesting that I hadn't even thought of. Why did we never get any moments with Chef and Tolkien? I feel like these episodes about race could have really benefited from multiple black perspectives, a younger perspective and an older perspective. Someone for Tolkien to talk to about these things instead of constantly being told how to feel. But that's all coulda, woulda, shoulda shit, right? South Park is a show that is constantly moving forward, off on side missions, changing the status quo. With that in mind, what's next for Tolkien's character? It's hard to say. I want to say that him living across the street from Stan creates new story opportunities, but just a few weeks ago, Stan and his family actually left Integrity Farms behind, so he's right back to living miles away from the rest of the kids at South Park Elementary, just like he was in season 4. I don't know how likely it is that we see Steve and his weed farm again, now that Randy isn't even over there anymore. Now, I know for a fact that we'll continue to see Tolkien, but I don't know if or when there'll be an interest in molding him into a more figured out character. But whenever it is, I cannot wait to see it. You got a supporter in me, Tolkien, hold your head up.
Yay!
That's the callback I'm ending this video on? Okay.
I'm going to kill you one day, Tolkien. What did you say? He was on my ground. You all saw that, right? Everything inside the red line is mine.